This is the Inspire IC1.5 indoor cycling bike, and in the next few minutes we're going to unbox it, build it, and I'm going to give you my very first impressions of it. And we will take a look at the software on the Inspire IC1.5, but let's be honest, a lot of people are going to be buying this bike to make a DIY Peloton. So really the big question is the Inspire IC1.5 a good option to make a DIY Peloton, or should you buy a different bike like the Echelon or Toronto or something else I have back there? Also, we will be comparing the Inspire IC1.5 to the COSTCO Proform Tour de France, as well as the Echelon EX4s, which is also sold at Costco. In today's video, we're not going to be able to cover every single thing, so be sure to click that subscribe button because over the next few days, I'm going to be releasing videos comparing it to the Peloton Bike Plus and many other indoor cycling bikes like the Echelon, the Toronto, the Schwinn IC4, and we're going to see how the Inspire IC4 stacks up and compares to other similarly priced bikes to make a DIY Peloton. Also, be sure to browse my channel because I have other videos on other Costco indoor cycling bikes like the Echelon and the Proform. All right, let's get out the scissors, unbox this thing, and build it and take a look at it. First things first, you flip it over, cut open the flaps, flip the whole thing back. And yes, this is the easiest way to open a bike. See what I mean? So real quick here, I just want to show you where everything is located in the box in case you need to repackage it for some reason. You could just come back to this video and reference this. The pedals are located right here. There's a stabilizer bar right here, and the toolkit is right here. Oh wow, it looks like they give you a little gel cover for the seat. Interesting. Over on the side, there's nothing. The instructions and how to activate the subscription are here. And around here on the back side, the handlebars are located over here. The tablet holder's right there. And then over here is the front stabilizer bar. You can see the wheels are right there. Looks like the seat's already on it, so this should be a pretty easy assembly. All right, so I got everything unboxed and I want to tell you my very first observations here. First thing I noticed is there is no power adapter, no power brick for the IC1.5, so this bike runs on batteries. You don't have to plug it into the wall. The next thing I'm seeing here is this bike is basically already built for you. The seat's on there, the seat post is on, the handlebar post is on. Here's what the toolkit looks like. It's just got a few bolts here to put on the stabilizer feet on the back and the front, so it should be super easy. And here's what the gel cover looks like for the seat. So in case you don't like the seat that comes on the bike, they give you this gel cover, which is kind of nice. As you might have already seen in my previous video, this is what the handlebars look like on the IC1.5. Very nice rubber coated grip material, good hand positions. I like that the front here is flat across and also flat this way. Just kind of my personal preference. I like that hand grip position. Here's the tablet holder that comes with it. It expands and contracts, so it looks like it fits a variety of tablet sizes. And as you might have seen in my previous video, the pedals are very, very basic. Steel teeth pedals, no clip-in option, no way to really add a clip-in option, but it does have the cages on the other side. So this pedal is very beginner friendly, not the most comfortable looking pedal, but you don't need any sort of special shoes for the Inspire IC1.5. The threading on the crank arm is standard threading, so you can put any pedals you want on the bike. For example, over here on my Peloton Bike Plus, I have these Shimano SPD clip-in pedals on the Bike Plus because I like them. And these pedals are a lot easier to clip into and unclip from than the standard pedals that come on the bike. Up here on the front of the bike is where you'll find the battery holder where you put your battery in there, and yeah, you don't have to plug this thing into the wall. If we take a peek down here under the flywheel, we can see there are 3 magnets. So the maximum resistance on this bike, it'll be very interesting to see what that is. I would also like to point out the magnet stack and the way the magnets look here, and even the flywheel on the front of the IC1 here. It actually looks very, very similar to the Proform Tour de France CVC that is also sold at Costco for $385. And I did have quite a few complaints with the Proform Tour de France from Costco. One of those was the stock maximum resistance, which I did find a way to modify. And the second one was the aggressive riding position. So we'll have to see how this one compares. So first step here, just put this up on here. Then drop in 2 of these bolts and of course tighten them down. Same thing on the back. So just in case your floor is not flat, you can get down there and turn these feet and level it out. So real quick, as I'm building this bike, I'd like to point out the Inspire IC1.5 is much, much, much easier to build than both of the other Costco bikes. So the Proform Tour de France CVC from Costco, as well as the Echelon EX4s, were both, I'm not going to say they were difficult to build, but this one is much easier to build. This is probably like the easiest bike I've ever built. So if how hard it is to assemble your indoor cycling bike is important to you, this one definitely is very easy. And man, look how similar this bike looks to the Peloton Bike Plus. So I mean, the Inspire actually looks more similar to the standard Peloton bike, but just like everything about it. Like, look at the paint color. Like, it has like the same sheen of black. The lettering up here is a lot more similar to the standard Peloton than the Peloton Bike Plus. But like, you know, the red accents, the red resistance knob, the smoked out gray, it's a little bit different, you know, it looks more like the standard Peloton bike smoked out gray, like down here by the belt cover as well as the little cover up here. The Bike Plus has a little bit better looking smoked out gray than the standard Peloton bike, but you know, it's basically like the same style. It's got a black flywheel, although, you know, this one has some lettering on it, but not every bike has a black flywheel. Actually, taking a closer look at the flywheel up here, there's like a plastic cover on this thing. So I forget what the flywheel mass is. I'll put that back up on the screen. I think it was like 30 something pounds. But like the actual like thickness of the flywheel and like the exterior of the flywheel is very similar to the Proform from COSTCO. Just to give you a little comparison of what the Peloton flywheel looks like, it's a very thin disc and there's some sort of mass right here as well. And the resistance works in a much different way on the Peloton Bike Plus. There's magnets that grab it from, you know, both sides. It's a magnet stack that comes down and kind of pinches the flywheel. Whereas I was showing you before, the magnet stack over here on the IC1.5 just is like a few magnets stacked on top. So despite the appearance, you know, these are actually different machines, far different machines really, including the price and the subscription as well. Basically 40 bucks a month versus a free year unless you want to do Peloton digital app, in which case that'd be 13 bucks a month about. We'll take a look at the app in just a little bit, but first let's finish building this thing. Real quick for me, if you're finding any value in this video, please give me a thumbs up, and any questions or comments you have or something you want to see in future videos, please leave down in the comment section below. So grab these two long bolts, grab your handlebars, set them right up here on top, drop in your bolts. Then you just go ahead and tighten those two bolts down. And while we're up here looking at the handlebars, I would like to point out something. So these are two-way adjustable handlebars, meaning, you know, you can adjust it from this point right here. And as I mentioned in my previous video, you can see the angle there makes it so as you raise them, they get further away from you, and you drop them down, they get closer to you. However, since I just happen to have some other bikes that are in the same price point as the Inspire IC1.5, let's take a look at those handlebars. So over here on the Goroto X2, which is a pretty good bike, I have a full review on this and lots of comparison videos on my channel. If you take a look up here, you can see that these handlebars are four-way adjustable. So you can move the handlebars forwards and backwards to get in a more comfortable position for you. Additionally, the handlebars on the Goroto X2 go up and down with micro adjustments. There's no hole you need to click into. On the Inspire IC1.5, there are holes that you need to click into for the handlebar adjustments. Over here on the Sunny 1805, as well as the Schwinn IC4, you also get the ability to move the handlebars forwards and backwards and up and down with micro adjustments. It's a little bit hard to see on the Schwinn IC4, but I promise you, it's there. Anyway, that's just an observation I thought I'd point out. So, get your little cap here, drop it in here. The right pedal goes on with normal threading, you just turn it right to tighten it. The left pedal you actually turn counterclockwise to tighten. You can just tighten it by hand for starters to make sure you have the threading aligned. Don't get out your tools until you got it started pretty good. On my Shimano pedals, it says to tighten them down with 10 Newton meters of torque. So you don't have to tighten them down like super tight, but you know, pretty tight. Just kind of get it on there and then give it, you know, just a little bit of a snug down. Put the little tablet holder up here with the last two little bolts right there. And now it's time to drop the battery in. All right, let's see what happens. Got the battery in, everything's assembled. Probably turn the pedals over, see if it makes a noise. Nope. Huh. Let's get the app. So it's actually pretty light and easy to move around. It's really light. Don't need any sort of special shoes. So as you get closer to maximum resistance, it kind of makes a noise, a unique noise. And then you can hear the friction pad hit. So if we take a look down here, we can see there's a little rubber friction pad up here in front and the 3 magnets. So that friction pad will hit the flywheel before the magnets will touch. Also, we can see the magnets get pretty close, but they could get a little bit closer. Another observation is if you do use that friction pad too much, it'll probably wear down and then the magnets will eventually touch the flywheel. So first impressions of the drivetrain, it actually feels like pretty smooth, like good inertia. It really kind of reminds me a lot of the Proform Tour de France that COSTCO sells. Like everything from like the construction of the flywheel up front to the pedals and just the way the bike feels. Out of the box, the maximum resistance on the Inspire IC1 is definitely higher than the Proform Tour de France that I bought from COSTCO. In comparison to like the Proform Tour de France, the handlebars come up higher on this bike, which makes it for a more comfortable riding position for me personally. And the other big difference obviously is there is a physical magnetic resistance on the Inspire IC1.5. So on the Proform Tour de France from COSTCO, there is the button adjustments up here on your tablet area. There is no resistance knob on the Proform. So on this bike, it is a physical magnetic resistance knob. So like that will work whether you have batteries or not. On the Proform Tour de France and also the Echelon EX4s that is sold at COSTCO, those you need to have batteries in them to work. But for that same reason, this bike, the Inspire, does not have automatic adjusting resistance, whereas the Proform from COSTCO does have automatic adjusting resistance, but that is only with the iFit platform. And since we're talking about the other COSTCO bikes, the Echelon EX4s has digital magnetic resistance, so it does need to be plugged into the wall in order for that magnetic resistance to work on the Echelon EX4s. In terms of like a DIY bike from COSTCO, you know, comparing across the Proform and the Echelon EX4s, the Inspire IC1.5 is definitely like the most open platform. You know, it does come with that app, which we'll get into here in just a moment, but since it does have the physical resistance and there's not like the buttons that are you know, locked into a platform, or there's no screen on this bike like the Echelon EX4s comes with a screen, the Inspire IC1.5 is like the most DIY, you know, open platform bike of the 3. Now obviously there are a lot of other DIY open platform bikes. We'll get more into that later though. I guess the big question would be is the COSTCO Inspire IC1.5 the best option for the money, or is there other better options out there? I mean, you know, how does the Inspire compare to the very popular Echelon Connect EX15, which is more in the price point of the Inspire? And how does it compare to the Giroto X2, which is also an excellent DIY option? And the Giroto is in the same price point as the Inspire. And how does it compare to the slightly more expensive Sunny 1805? In terms of knee clearance at 6'5", my knees actually clear the handlebars just fine, and there's like no like obstructions down here in the way, so it's good. In terms of drivetrain feel on this bike, I actually find it to be really actually pretty good. I'm kind of surprised by how nice the drivetrain on this bike feels. The flywheel has like good inertia to it, good momentum as I get the pedals turning over quickly. If I get out of the saddle, that momentum kind of carries me through pretty good. So the pedal strokes on this bike are actually pretty uniform. I don't do this at home, but this is like the minimum resistance of the bike. Everything kind of just turns freely, no resistance really there. Very light minimum resistance. And then the interesting thing about this bike is, so let's crank up the resistance a little bit towards maximum. The interesting thing though is the brake pad like kicks in, so it's like magnetic resistance, and also you can kind of get a little bit of physical resistance pad at the end there to kind of crank up the max resistance higher than what the magnets can do on their own. So here on 0 turns, no resistance really. 1 turn, 2 turns, 3 turns, now I can kind of feel a little bit of a difference. 4 turns, starting to come on pretty good. 5, this is probably like resistance 25 or 30 on the Peloton. 6 turns, that made a pretty big jump in resistance. 7 turns. So like after about 7 turns, then you can hear the brake pad starting to touch. So before the brake pad touches, right here, this is like the maximum magnetic resistance. And it's pretty strong, honestly. I think a lot of people would be just fine with this. I did bump my knee there. Need to keep my booty back though. Whew. A lot of power there. So I'm going to do a real quick comparison on max resistance of the Peloton Bike Plus. So the Inspire is on maximum resistance. Let me see what that feels like over here. Yeah, I'd say max resistance on the Inspire IC1.5. Max resistance before the brake pad touches is about 65 on the Peloton Bike Plus. So if you guys want a full conversion chart between like turns to the Peloton Bike Plus, let me know in the comment section below and I'll do that in my next video. Here's what the seat looks like on the Inspire IC1.5. It's pretty standard shape. It's got a little bit of squish to it. It's pretty much like the same thing as what you get over on the Echelon EX15. If you want like a wide and squishy seat, the Gerotto X2 actually comes with like a wider saddle. So it's kind of like a more beginner friendly saddle on this bike. The Renfo bike actually has a pretty similar saddle to the Gerotto X2 as well as the Sunny 1805. One thing about the Renfo bike is it has a freewheel, so it's not a fixed drivetrain. So the Renfo bike's a little bit more safe and easier to get on. And since we got off topic, I might as well show you the Schwinn IC4 saddle over here as well if you haven't seen that. The Schwinn IC4 saddle is a little bit more race inspired. So up here in the saddle of the Inspire bike, I actually do like the hand grip positions. As I mentioned before, it has this like flat position right here. There's no like angle to it, just nice grip material, nice and flat. You can also kind of grip right here and out here. They do kind of curve in a little bit more than on most of my other bikes, but it's totally cool. And then out here in position 3 for out of the saddle riding, pretty comfortable grips out here as well. And you do get your little water bottle holder right here, which looks like you can fit a standard water bottle in there just fine. The maximum user weight is listed at 300 pounds. So to activate your subscription, you go to inspirefitness.com/COSTCO and then enter the serial number. The serial number is just back here on the back bar of your bike. So once you're on that website, you just kind of scroll down and click on Get Started, then create an account. It says entering your serial number is optional, but I put mine in and then it gave me the free premium subscription for 12 months. And apparently included in that is live workouts and on-demand workouts. In the App Store, this is what the Inspire Fitness app looks like. It's from Health in Motion. So when I log into the app here, this is the screen I'm greeted with here. It shows live classes and how to connect the bike. So you do quick start. Scan. I might need to turn the pedals or something. Oh yeah, it says right there, begin pedaling the bike. Oh yeah, it came right up. So there we go. You're connected. Start workout. All right, so right up here on the screen, right away, it gives you just a quick start and gives you like your cadence and your power in watts, so that's great. Your resistance number too, so that's cool, and your total output. So really, all the good stuff. So yeah, it also shows calories, speed, and distance. So let me get on here and give it a little try. So we're on resistance 1. Turn it up a little bit. So resume. Oh, wait, what? Come on now. Resume. All right. Why are you stopping me? So it shows the resistance number right up there on the screen. I'm turning over the pedals now. It gets the RPMs going right up on there. It's got the power output on there and total output. Also shows speed, calories, and distance down there. So all the basic metrics, all the good stuff really. Turn it down to resistance 1. Let me turn it up. So there is like a small lag there, probably not like a huge deal, but you know, just like about a ½ second lag. So I'm on resistance 20. Let's see what it goes out of, by the way. So 40 is the maximum resistance. So 1 to 40. Let me see if I'm pedaling here on resistance 40, RPMs are 42, power is 137. I feel like my power output might probably be higher than that, honestly. Let me drop it down. Resistance 30, RPMs 80, power output 143. That's probably about right. Resistance 30, power 62, RPMs 54. Crank it down a little bit, 25. RPMs 105, power 128. Seems, you know, relatively accurate. So resistance here, 34, 35. I'm not changing it, it's kind of like just bouncing back and forth. Power output, 200, 225, 230. Honestly, feels fairly accurate, I think, in terms of measuring power. So it is a little bit annoying if you stop pedaling for a few seconds, like 10 seconds, it'll pull up this screen and automatically end your workout. And like, it looks like, I don't know, can you go back? What happens if I keep pedaling now? Nope. So after it ends your workout, it just ends it. Yeah, we'll save it. So if there's some specific things you guys want to see in this app, let me know and I can check it out for you. Also, you can download this app. I'm not sure what the functionality is and stuff if you didn't buy the bike, but you might be able to just download it and check it out if you want. So let's check out this high intensity interval training here with Ashley, 24 minutes, electronic music it looks like. So it's asking me to reconnect the bike again, which I was just connected, so I don't know why. Okay, so it's Bluetooth, you know, it doesn't plug into the wall, so it runs on that battery, so like the whole thing kind of like powers down relatively quickly, I guess, once you stop pedaling it. So it'll like disconnect from the bike pretty, quickly, you know, within like, under a minute for sure. So connecting again. All right, so here's the screen and you get all your metrics here.
I need everyone to adopt a brave move.
So first observations here on this class is very motivational right out the bat. Talking about letting go of all the negative vibes and negative energy and staying positive. Also, we can see there is some pink lights going on in the background. So right away here, she's calling out some RPMs, saying between 70 and 90 RPMs. In terms of resistance, she's not giving a number right now in this class. She's just saying flat road. So I think you just have to kind of translate it for yourself. So I guess the benefit of her saying flat road instead of a specific number is each individual is going to feel like, you know, it's a flat road depending on your ability level. So, you know, I guess that's kind of nice. And now what she's doing is instructing us to get out of the saddle, and she is giving a specific RPM range and says to add on 1 turn from like where you were at. So again, not like specific resistance numbers, but she does give you a range of cadence numbers to begin. So first impressions of the classes that come with the app, not bad, you know, pretty standard studio look here. Got the colored lights going on in the background. Instructor is giving good instruction, you know, telling you to keep your booty back and proper riding form, giving you cadence numbers and relative resistance turns in this course. I'll have to check out some more classes later and see if they do give specific resistance numbers, or you know, if there's like some power courses, you know, like FTP training or you know, other sort of rides. Anyway, let me know what other stuff you guys would like to see with the app that comes with the Inspire IC1.5 from COSTCO. So this is just like my first video with the Inspire IC1.5 here in my home. Actually, my first impressions of this bike is actually pretty decent. It's better than I thought it was gonna be. I do think it's better than the Proform that COSTCO has for sale for a variety of reasons. One, the riding position is more comfortable, and two, you don't have to deal with that automatic adjusting resistance, which I mean, if you want automatic adjusting resistance, the Proform is pretty good for that. But also with the Proform, you should keep in mind that automatic adjusting resistance only works with the iFit platform. I have a full review and comparison videos with the Proform. I'll put a card to it up here or a link down in the description box. So yeah, out of the 3 popular COSTCO bikes that they have like in the store right now, I think the Inspire IC1.5 is like the best open platform bike. You know, if you want to use it with like the Peloton digital app or something like Apple Fitness Plus, or you know, like your own app, and not be locked into like the Echelon app or iFit. Is the Inspire IC1.5 like the best bike for the money you can get? I don't know about that yet. I will have more videos in the future here comparing it against like the Echelon EX15, Gerado X2. Those 2 bikes in particular, along with several other bikes I have here like the Schwinn IC4, the Sunny 1805, are really good Peloton alternatives. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys today. Give me a thumbs up if this video has been helpful to you at all. Leave a comment down below on anything you want to see in my upcoming videos. Also, if you want to make sure you get notified about my new videos coming out, click that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and I'll see you in my next video.